Specialized squat shoes and knee sleeves are probably some of the most commonly used pieces of powerlifting equipment out there. But how much do they actually help? Will they really help your squat get that much stronger? Well, today we're going to find out. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ben. I'm a mediocre powerlifter. Right now, my squat PR is 425 pounds, wearing some high top bands and some sweatpants. I'm 6 foot tall, weigh 218 pounds, so I definitely don't think I'm going to be recruited by Team USA anytime soon, but I do think it's safe to say that I'm an advanced lifter in this lift. However, up until today, I have never worn squat shoes or knee sleeves. I have always just squatted in high top bands and sweatpants. So what I want to do today is figure out how much these pieces of equipment are going to help my squat improve. Now, there's a couple things that make the squat shoe unique. The first and probably most notable is the elevated heel. I think this shoe has about an inch or an inch and a quarter of heel lift, and then the foot is pretty much, there's a little bit of rubber, but it's pretty much close to the ground, so there's quite a heel lift. The other thing to notice is the bottom of the shoe is completely flat along the entire bottom. A lot of shoes, especially like a running shoe or a training shoe, is probably going to have some sort of an arch in the middle, or perhaps the heel or the toe is going to kind of curl up, but this shoe is just incredibly flat. And then it also has straps on the top that are going to lock you into the shoe super, super tight. Some models of squat shoes will have laces and then the straps, but the straps, you can actually see that this strap on this shoe goes inside of the sole of the shoe, so it can really, really tighten you down onto the shoe. Then the toe of the shoe is just made of a really, really robust material, because obviously with that kind of slant and carrying so much weight as you would on a squat, you don't want any of your toes to push and ruin the front of your shoe. So this is just made out of leather material. It could be a thick canvas or something, but something that's not going to let your toes bust through the front. Basically, the idea of the squat shoe is that it's just going to put you in a very anatomically advantageous position to squat as much as you can. It's going to try and just help you be really, really stable. The heel is very, very, very hard. There's very little, if any, cushion to it at all. It's very solid. It's hard to walk around in. Really, it's just supposed to give you really good balance and help you just be super, super solid on the ground so that all of the force you can produce goes straight into the barbell on your back. This shoe is the cast iron lift squat shoe. I found it on Amazon. I think it was like $80 or something. I got good enough reviews that I figured it'd be good enough for my purposes. If I had a bottomless wallet, I probably would have wanted to get something like a tier squat shoe. Very, very good piece of equipment. The budget you can spend on a squat shoe definitely goes up, but for the price, I think this is a really, really good piece of equipment, so it's what I got. Knee sleeves are kind of funny because if you were to ask a powerlifter what the knee sleeve does, they would probably tell you that it just gives your knee a big hug and helps you feel good, helps your knees feel in line. Really, it's more of a feeling comfortable as you squat when wearing the knee sleeves. They would tell you that it does not provide any extra elasticity to your knee joint, contrary to the knee wraps, which are banned in powerlifting. And the whole entire point of a knee wrap is to give your knee extra elasticity to help you squat. Knee sleeves come in different thicknesses and, of course, different sizes. It is common, I will say, for powerlifters to try and size down on their knee sleeves so that they can just get as much extra help as possible. You get a really, really tight knee sleeve. I didn't really feel like doing that, so I just got a pretty appropriately sized knee sleeve for me. Fits me well. It's pretty tight, gives pretty snug on my knees, and I'm curious how much these are going to help me squat. What I'm going to do is go into my squat workout today using these pieces of equipment together for the first time. Now, if they help me out and they help me squat more, obviously we're not going to know how much of that we should assign to the knee sleeve versus the squat shoe because we're testing them both at the same time. But really my question is just if we take an advanced weightlifter who's never used these pieces of equipment before and then all of a sudden he gets them, how much better will he be able to squat? So last week's squat workout for me went like this. I like to do reverse pyramid training. So I did 365 pounds for 3 reps, 345 pounds for 4 reps, 335 pounds for 5 reps, and 315 pounds for 6 reps. Now, my best top set using 365 ever was actually 5 reps, but that was on a particularly good week. It was kind of a fluke. And last week, I felt particularly weak on that top set, so I just got 3. I think we could say a normal number for me to get on 365 would be 4 reps. However, the rest of the workout for me, even last week when I was feeling weak, is just as good as I've ever done. I've never done more than 4, 5, and 6 reps with 345, 335, and 315. If I was able to get, an extra rep on a set or 2 on my workout today, I actually wouldn't chalk it up to the knee sleeves or the squat shoes. I think that'd be pretty, normal progression for me in terms of just progressive overload and some strength gains. But if we see a lot more than that, I definitely am going to chalk it up to the knee sleeves and the squat shoes, because I do push my training pretty hard. So I really would consider this 4, 4, 5, and 6 the peak physical ability that I have on the squat right now. So I'm curious to see how much these pieces of equipment are going to do. All right, guys, I wanted to show you a little bit of my warm-up that I do as well. One thing I always do is dynamic stretching before my workouts, and I recommend that you guys do the same. The tension that we might feel from a deep static stretch can actually kind of fatigue the muscle before we've actually done any weightlifting, and so you're better off just saving your static stretching for post-workout. Also, you'll notice I'm wearing my squat shoes already. I don't usually put on any of my lifting accessories until my last warm-up set or my top set, but just because I know that there's probably going to be a little bit of a learning curve to using these squat shoes, I'm going to go ahead and put them on already. Here I'm doing some deep squats, some deep lunges, get a little bit of hip mobility, get my hips opened up. And then this right here is going to be my last warm-up set with 315, just for 2. Now, the weightlifting accessories that I always use are a belt, wrist wraps, and I actually do use chalk on my hands for a squat. As I've already mentioned, usually I'm used to just squatting in Vans, something with a flat, hard sole. Today, the only thing different that I've ever done is the squat shoes and the knee sleeves. Well, here we go. So there's definitely something of a difference already. The first things I noticed were this. If anyone tries to tell you that knee sleeves do not provide any extra elasticity to your knee joint, they are a liar. It absolutely did, especially as I got really deep in the bottom portion of that squat. I definitely felt that knee sleeve give me a little bit of extra help getting out of that bottom position and into the concentric part of the squat. I definitely felt a little bit of help, but it was great. I mean, it felt great. And then with the squat shoe, first of all, it really helped with my balance, which is supposed to be one of the big reasons you wear it. A lot of you guys, if you've done powerlifting or even just like heavy squatting, you might kind of notice that sometimes it can be really hard to get into your balance. Sometimes you lean a little too far forward or a little too far back and you kind of, get out of your groove and your lift goes pretty bad. You're not able to hit it even if you probably should have been. Balance is a big thing. You really want to keep the weight, the center of that weight, over your center of balance the entire time, which for most people is going to be right above the arch of your foot. And I felt like this squat shoe really helped me keep that balance. It was awesome. I also felt like, and I don't know if I could give a great explanation for why this happened, but I really felt like I was able to use my butt a lot better than normal. I really felt like it was giving a lot more force into my squat and than previously. And again, I don't really know how to explain that, but I felt like the knee sleeves really helped my knees, the squat shoes helped my balance and my butt, and it was a pretty big difference. Now, let's go ahead and see the rest of the workout. The rest of this workout is going to be in 3 times speed, except for my last rep. This is 345 pounds, reps to beat 4. Moving on to 335. Got stuck a little bit, but we beat it. 6 reps. I will say, at this point in the workout, I have never wanted to vomit in the gym more. I had to choke it down a couple times, but I was just exhausted. So my last set of 315. And we took it out of the park with 8. So there you have it. I think it is pretty safe to say, do knee sleeves and squat shoes help? Absolutely. This was a big difference, and I never would have expected to see this much strength gains from just 1 week of, strength gains and hypertrophy and progressive overload. I think these things helped a lot. And that's it. Thanks for joining me, guys.